Hello my spooky friends. If this is your first time to my channel, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Emily and today I am bringing you another spooky Sunday. So as we all know, here in the US, it is the month of October. And what does the month of October entail? It entails Halloween and all things spooky. So I'm basically going to be doing Halloween themed spooky Sundays for the whole month of October. Some of them are going to be kind of laid back like today, and some of them are going to be really spooky. So I'm really excited to bring you guys some more interesting Halloween themed spooky Sundays here. I have some really interesting ideas that I want to bring forward, but for today's video, we are going to do something pretty laid back. Now, if you were here for my Japanese urban legends video that I did a couple weeks ago, I basically just read off from my phone from an article that I found about Japanese urban legends that I had never read before, and I just wanted to basically react to them with you guys. And I got a decent amount of good responses from that video, so I figured I would do that again to start out this spooky Halloween themed October spooky Sunday. So I will have the article linked down below if you want to read them along with me, but let's go ahead and get right on into the first urban legend. So the first Halloween urban legend is one that we all know, that we probably grew up with. It is Bloody Mary. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I was in elementary school, people would do this all the time. They would turn off all the lights in the bathroom and say, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. And allegedly, Bloody Mary is supposed to pop up in the mirror if you say that in a bathroom 3 times with all the lights off, and I guess she's supposed to like kill you or something. I don't really know, but all I think about when I think of Bloody Mary now is South Park because of the whole Biggie Smalls thing.
Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls.
What the fuck is this?
I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that's all I can think about when it comes to Bloody Mary anymore. But this is what the site has to say about this urban legend. Mirrors are quite essential during All Hallows Eve. How else do you perfect your freaky clown makeup? But according to one popular Halloween urban legend, you should be careful with what you say while gazing into the glass. If you repeat the words Bloody Mary 3 times while staring into your reflection, an evil woman from the other side may appear and try to drag you through the mirror. And no, she doesn't arrive with brunch cocktails. I didn't think that she would. Okay, I'm getting it here. Bloody Mary, like the actual cocktail itself. I've never had that, so that's why that didn't connect for me. But I basically ruined the story for you guys and for myself. I thought this was going to be like the true story of Bloody Mary, which there is a true story of it. But no, it was just the urban legend, so I'm sorry. I totally ruined it, but let's get into the next one. Now this one is really interesting. I've heard of this one before, and this is called corrupted candy. The common saying, don't take candy from strangers, dates back to the abduction of Charlie Ross in 1874, who was lured into a horse-drawn carriage with a treat and never seen again. So while there is an ounce of truth to the saying, not all candy is out to do evil. Still, the annual rumors persist and run gamut. From chocolate-covered razor blades to candy corn laced with arsenic, morals to the story, be a little cautious with your sweets. And I definitely think that that is something to keep in mind during Halloween. You know, you never know what people are gonna do. I think I heard something last year about how people were putting THC and basically turning candy into edibles and giving it to kids, which is not a good idea, okay? People should be able to choose if they want to take edibles or not. Don't force kids to take them. So I definitely think that there is a moral to that story. I think that that is definitely something to keep in mind if you are giving out candy or if you are going to be accepting candy this year, if your kids are going to be accepting candy. Always be very cautious and look for any tampering of the candy of any sorts, and just throw it away if you think that anything is sketchy. And this article didn't mention it, but there was actually a double murder that took place in the 80s where a father actually laced some pixie sticks with rat poisoning, I believe, and killed his 2 kids for insurance money. And of course it was on Halloween, and I think that the rumor got even more popular after that happened and people got really scared, and the rumor just kind of took off from there, because I remember when I was little, people were always like, make sure you don't eat candy if it looks like it's been open. So I think that's definitely a good rule to live by. The next Halloween urban legend is called Halloween Massacre. Ready, set, say cheese, or stare devilishly into the camera while wearing a black mask. One particular photo from 1962 continues to spread a legendary story about a Halloween massacre. The plot goes that the man in the black mask in the photo above was at a costume party and decided to lock all the doors in order to attempt to murder each and every guest. 7 partygoers met their end and the man was never caught. It wasn't until 1969 that his mask was found by the FBI. Is it true? Obviously not. But the possibility of such a slaying still sends shivers down the spines of costumed revealers everywhere. I think that a lot of people are really kind of freaked out by masks in general for that exact purpose. You don't know who's behind it, and people are able to get away with things a lot easier if you can't see their face and if you can't identify the person. So I could definitely see why that's an urban legend, and I could see why that scares people. Honestly, that would scare me as well. I don't trust people in masks, okay? I want to see your face. I want to know who you are. I want to know what you're up to. I don't trust it. This one is something else. I've never heard of this before, but this is called hallucinogenic tattoos. Looks like we're in for a nice little treat here. You're getting very sleepy and very trippy. What the hell? What is this? This myth purports that parents should watch out for those who hand out temporary tattoos rather than candy. I think I know where this is going. Because surely the intent is all trick and no treat. Allegedly, such tattoos are infused with hallucinogenic drugs that will make children feel like Alice in Wonderland until they fall down the rabbit hole permanently. Has that ever happened? Is this like based off a true story, or is this just parents being like paranoid about that kind of stuff? That's so weird. Who would do that? I feel like that's just kind of a waste of money at that point. I mean, you're gonna go out and spend money on drugs that are probably hard to get and probably expensive, and you know, you risk going out and getting stuff like that, and then you're just gonna give it to children? I mean, what? I don't know. Seems like a waste of money to me. Okay, I'm super excited about this one, and I'll explain why in a little bit. The madman with a hook for a hand. I'm sure we've all heard of this one before. You're a blossoming adolescent and your hormones are rushing, so naturally, you'd welcome the opportunity to make out with someone in a car following a Halloween party. Why in a car? It just adds to the suspense, I suppose. But according to this tale, it may be best to keep one hand on the ignition. The story goes that while two young lovers were swapping spit... Did they really have to phrase it like that? Okay. A news story comes in over the radio detailing the story of a woman who was murdered nearby by a madman with a hook for a hand. Then suddenly the teens hear a scratching on the hood of the car. When they take a peek, it's the hooked man himself. Okay, who here has seen SpongeBob and the slinging slasher? Because that's all I can think of right now.
So you're not afraid?
Nah.
Well, I am. Especially after... well... you know.
What? What do I know?
You don't remember? He was all over the news. The slinging slasher. At this very restaurant, the slinging slasher used to be a fry cook. Just like you. He replaced his hand with a rusty spatula. And there are 3 signs that signal the approach of the slinging slasher. First, the lights will flicker on and on. Next, the phone will ring, and there will be nobody there. And finally, the slinging slasher arrives in the ghost of the bus and ran him over. And he exits the bus and crosses the street without looking both ways, because he's already dead.
I know that this is supposed to be a spooky story, but all I can think about is the slinging slasher. That was an iconic moment in cartoons for kids my age and who grew up watching cartoons like that. So, I don't know. This one I can't really take that seriously. But on that note, I do know that the Zodiac killer, who was a very famous serial killer who was never caught, would actually go around to couples in cars and murder them while basically they were in their car or drag them out of the car. And I feel like the actual legend itself might actually just stem from the Zodiac killer's murders, because they seem very similar and the parallels between them are almost exactly the same. The only difference is that the Zodiac killer didn't have a hook for a hand. He would dress up in an executioner's outfit, which basically looks like a giant trash bag, but scarier, and he would kill people in that outfit. So I think that I'd be a lot more scared to run into the Zodiac killer than the slinging slasher. That is all I have to say about that. And finally, the last urban legend that is revolving around Halloween is called Spider Wig. And this one already sounds freaking horrible, and I have a feeling it's just gonna get worse once we start reading it. So let's get into it. The myth of the spider wig is definitely an arachnophobe's worst nightmare. I'm an arachnophobe, like, so freaking hard. I want to cry every time I see spiders, so this is just great. In this story, a creative young woman is putting together her own costume with treasures from her grandmother's attic. She sets her eyes on a dramatic witch's hat and wig, dresses up, and heads to the party. Her scalp is a bit itchy, but she thinks nothing of it. Oh god, I know where this is going. Until fellow partiers start freaking out. Out of her headgear and crawling all over her face are thousands of tiny little 8-legged arachnids. Nah. Yeah, I don't think that I'm going to be trying on wigs anytime soon. And if I do, I'm definitely not going to be trying on wigs from an attic. I mean, honestly, come on, girl. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? You have to check the inside of the wig. If you're going to grab anything from the attic, I don't care if it's a wig, I don't care if it's a pot, a Christmas tree, whatever it may be, make sure you check that stuff down. Give it an ocular pat down and check it out and make sure there is nothing living inside of it, because I feel like that is the one place a spider will definitely go to, is the attic. And if you're just gonna grab a wig out of there and not even look inside, really? You gotta look. You gotta spray it down with some bug spray or something. That could have been completely avoided if she just would have looked. But those are 6 urban legends that are surrounding Halloween. They are pretty silly in my opinion, but I enjoyed them. Some of them I had heard of before, some of them I hadn't, and I just really like reading about urban legends. I think it's really interesting, especially when you're into like true crime and kind of like murder mystery stuff like I am. A lot of these urban legends actually stem from an incident or a case that happened. So I think it's pretty interesting to see how things are kind of twisted and how the telephone game works kind of down history. But I really hope that you enjoyed this week's Spooky Sunday. Next week's is going to be a lot scarier, a lot more intense, not as lighthearted and fun, but I wanted to start it out with something that was a little bit sillier and then get into the stuff that actually scares me next week. So if you would like to see what we are going to be doing for Spooky Sunday next week, I really hope that you consider subscribing. I do also hope that you consider giving this video a big old thumbs up and turning on the notification bell if you want to know when I am posting, because I do all sorts of spooky and makeup goodness here on this channel. But I hope you are having an absolutely amazing and slightly spooky day wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye!